Alhamdulillah wa salatu wa salam ala rasulillah ma ba'd. Are we supposed to remove, or are we even allowed to remove the hair, the unwanted hair in the private region when we're doing ghusl for the person who's passed away? Person's passed away, doing ghusl, we're doing the washing and the shrouding, but they've got unwanted hair in the private region. Are we supposed to remove that, yes or no? Now, the majority of the ulama have said it shouldn't be touched. Now, they have differed as to why. The Hanafis and the Malikis have said it's bid'ah. Messenger of Allah ﷺ didn't do it, he didn't command it, so by you doing it, then why are you trying to do something from the ghusl which the Messenger of Allah ﷺ didn't do? Ghusl is an act of worship. So you need dalil. There's no dalil, therefore don't do it. The Shafi'is have said that there could be harm involved. If you're now going to go and try remove things from the body, and this now applies to other aspects of removing from the body, the Shafis have said it applies to this and it applies to everything else, that as long as there is a fear of harm for the mayyit, for the person that's passed away, then you shouldn't do it. No, it's not allowed. And the Hanabila have said no, it's not allowed here, although they have said you can trim the moustache and you can remove their hair from underneath the armpits and you can clip their nails, but this involves the exposing of the awrah. Therefore, this is not allowed. So they have differed as to why they have said that it is not allowed. This is also the view of others from the ulama, such as Ibn Sirin and others. Now, others from the ulama of the Salaf, this has been reported to be the view of Hasan al-Basri, Bakr ibn Abdullah, Sa'id ibn Jubair, Ishaq ibn Rahowi, Imam Ahmad himself, rahimahullah, is also the view of Al-Awza'i, Thawri, Abdul Razzaq, San'ani, and a number from the ulama of the Salaf that they have said, yeah, it is permissible for us to remove the hair which is there. On the condition, obviously, that it doesn't cause harm and the awrah is not going to be exposed to people who should not have it exposed to. What's the dalil? The dalil is that Sa'id ibn Abi Waqqas. Now here it's very important. Someone might look at this masala and say, well, the Messenger of Allah ﷺ didn't do it, so therefore it's not sunnah to do it, therefore we're not going to do it. However, the religion is based upon more than just the Quran and the Sunnah. Hence, Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah is also of the view that it should be removed if there is a need to remove it. And in another place, not in Sharh al-Mumti', in another place he says, look, when you are doing the ghusl, we want to prepare this person in the best possible manner. And this is the illah and the reason for a lot of things which have been legislated in the ghusl process. And there is a heavy degree of ijtihad that is involved, to the extent that the scholars have said, well, when do you press the stomach? Do you press it in the beginning or do you press it in the end? That's not been mentioned in the Sunnah. What temperature of water do you use, cold or warm? That's not been mentioned in the Sunnah. Are you supposed to apply misk or oud? Even some of them have said oud, not just comfort. Comfort is found in the Sunnah, but oud, is there dalil for that? Not real dalil for that. Do you place it on the places of sujood only, or do you apply it for the whole body? Again, issue of ijtihad. So Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah is basically saying here, you will find certain practices when it comes to the washing and the ghusl of the mayyit, because we are trying to prepare them in the best possible manner. So now what he says, Ibn Taymiyyah rahimahullah, that if it is something which is bad, as in it's growing long, and the hikmah behind it is to prepare them in the best manner and also to remove any kind of form of najasa, as long as there's no harm involved and the awrah is not going to be exposed, then inshallah there's no harm in doing that. This is the view of Taymiyyah rahimahullah. Now, you can then say, well, that's his view, but there's no sunnah behind it. We'll say no. The religion is based on more than just the sunnah. In this is istihsan, al-istihsan. In this there is qiyas, and all of these are legitimate forms of dalil al-istidlal, on how proof is established. Also, qawl al-sahabi, Sa'id ibn Abi Waqqas, jazza anatul mayyit, and it's been authentically reported that he, from the companions, radiyallahu an, used to remove the unwanted hairs from the mayyit. And he used to trim the moustache and clip the nails, etc. Imam Ahmad rahimahullah says you can use a razor. If you can't, then use scissors. And Qadi Iyad, who's from the Maliki, and remember the Maliki said it's bid'ah, but even him from that madhab said that you should use something which would remove it easily. So if it's got, I don't know, today we've got so many alternatives like cream or something like that. And the evidence here, as Imam Ahmad rahimahullah said, that Sa'd did it, and now this is proof radiyallahu an wa rahimahullah al-ulama jami'an. So now here the issue is, are we supposed to remove the unwanted hairs of the person who's passed away? This is an issue where the scholars have differed. For me personally, and like I said, Uthaymeen rahimahullah said also, is that inshallah there's no harm in it if there is no harm involved, if there is a need for it. But I want to just allude to one thing here. When it comes to the washing, this is an issue which is known with the ulama as fard kifaya. I mean, this is something which is a communal obligation. And when it comes to acts of worship which are communal obligations, we really need to have one person in authority. If you're in the room where the janazah is being prepared and you've got 20 people in authority and you've got so many people just shouting out their view and their ijtihad, that's not helpful at all. Sighting the new moon, fard kifaya. If every single masjid said, well, we're going to follow this country and another one's following it, it's just going to cause fitna and confusion. So from the ahkam and the hikmah that you find in the sharia is that when you've got certain acts of worship, and you find this in the books of Aqidah, when you've got certain acts of worship which require unity, which require conformance, which require bringing people together, really one person should be placed in authority. That person in authority, if they say, yeah, we're going to remove the hair, then remove the hair, khalas. Don't make it an issue. But if the person says, no, it's not from the sunnah and this is my opinion and it's closer for us not to do it, then khalas. It's not a big deal. Unity and keeping the conformance and keeping the ties with one another and having respect towards the deceased is the objective. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us fiqh of the religion and He teaches us ta'wil. Likewise, we ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He gives us the best of ends, and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala makes us of those who are shrouded with the clothes and the sense of Jannah. We ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala that He makes us firm until we meet Him. هذا والله أعلم وصلى الله على محمد.